inside of a solid move with a touch of violence, there should be that bigger than normal bar. In this drop, we have it here. That's the bigger than normal one. This one's smaller and this one's smaller. Okay? This bar, even though we look at the entire move, right? We look at this bar as its own move inside of a bigger move. And so this bar must also be cut in half. Because remember, I told you that the biggest bar of all has the highest amount of resistance bearing down on the stock. See how this green bar took out that red bar? You see how, and then this red bar got eliminated. But when you started to get in the realm of the fat one, that's when things get dicey. This fat part of the move, that fat bar part, has the most power. You see, it has the most resistance bearing down on the stock. So it's sort of like it got through, the green got through these soldiers here. The green got through this soldier and this one, but now it's the big guy you got to get through. And you're usually going to halt at the halfway mark there. So there's a halfway mark of the whole move. Which is more or less here. And there's a halfway mark of the fat red bar, which is here. And so this creates a zone. And look at where the tails occur. You know what the tails are suggesting? So here's the halfway mark of the fat bar, and here is the halfway mark of the move. The whole move. So you got 50% of the fat bar and 50% of the entire move. This creates this zone. And look at where in this zone, you see that the stock fails. This was all the way up here, and then it fell back. Boom! Even this moved into that zone and fell back. Boom! All right, so I don't want to get too deep on you, but this dual 50% zone is very powerful and has the highest odds of creating the turn in the stock. You don't always have this, because if you have a move down where the bars are relatively even, like that, then there's just the 50% of the whole move. But if you have this instead, right? So this bar was the big one, like that. So now you have 50% of the whole move, and you also have 50% of the fat bar. That zone on any move up is the kiss of death. All right? And here you see it, the kiss of death for the stock. The rally up, boom, in that zone, boom, we drop. It tries to get there one more time, and boom, boom, boom. New low, profit take. 72% failure after the new low here because you're coming from a high point. You know this, guys. We go over this all the time. Powerful, powerful. And let me think about this. Think about the millions of traders out there who have no clue about any of this. What do you think they're doing? Gambling. What do you think they're doing? Throwing dice, rolling bones, calling up the psychic hotline, taking tips from Facebook chat rooms. It's freaking ridiculous. But we thank our lucky stars for them, right? Because if we are to never make a deposit and we're only to withdraw, then someone else has to deposit. We want them to be the depositors. But it should be mind-boggling to you that we cover things like this here, and you have to know as you look at the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of market players out there every day, that over 90% have no clue of this stuff. They're playing blind. They're just guessing. We don't guess. And we play the closest thing to sure things. People believe that you can't be certain in this game, but you must be certain to be good. They just don't know how to be certain. People say all the time that day trading and short-term oriented trading is gambling. And you know what? They're absolutely right, traders. That's not a lie. It's gambling for the vast majority of traders. Do you understand? That's where it's true. They're absolutely right. It's gambling. Short-term oriented trading is gambling for the majority of people because they're out there just guessing. They don't have a strategy. They have no tactics. They have no techniques. They have no rules. They have no guidelines. They don't know the probability, which is we spend a lot of time going over the probability of certain events. The probability, guys, that a move up is going to fail because of the quality of the way it dropped. Right here, we've covered the probability of an area where the move up is going to fail because it fell right between the two 50% marks. They don't know that. So not knowing these things, of course you're gambling. You see, the last thing you should be doing is, oh, Oliver, that was a great, powerful lesson, and just going about your normal lives until the next session. Now, you're missing the point. Because what we do here, guys, is we get the knowing here. You get that from me. I'm pouring 41 plus years into you. I'm giving you the knowing, the knowledge. But it's from my experience. Now you have to add your experience. You have to gain your experience with the knowledge. So many people believe that it's knowledge only that's required. That's why they think they can buy success. But I'm not making money. I took this course. Like the course was the magic. No, it's becoming experienced with the knowledge of the course that's the magic. So there's two forms of knowledge. There's pure academic knowledge, which we just did here. This is academic knowledge. What you have to do now is take the academic knowledge from me and you have to turn it into experiential knowledge for yourself. And it is only after you become experienced with this will success start to show itself. And you can't cheat this process, traders. I'm sorry, you can't cheat it. It's almost like a partnership. I provide the knowledge, you provide the experience. Boom, and then success is the equation. So my knowledge, your experience, plus your experience equals success. My knowledge plus your experience. And all you have to do is work with it for a week. Then we take the next concept, work with it for a week. Then we take the next concept, work with it for a week. And I'm telling you, you string 5 of these weeks together, you're already head and shoulders above the vast majority of people out there. But they all stack on each other. And so your knowledge becomes taller and stronger, sort of like Bitcoin's blockchain, right? Every 10 minutes, a new block, which means that it got exponentially more powerful, like a chain with a new link becomes a more powerful chain. And so we're creating week by week this chain of knowledge that the whole chain gets bigger and more powerful and more productive and more profitable. And we do it chain by chain or week by week by week. So Bitcoin's blockchain, Bitcoin's new blocks come into existence on average every 10 minutes. Our new block comes into existence every week.